This was a bit of a surprise recipe, probably last year. I think there was an original version, but then I came back to it. I can't even remember why I came back to it. No, it doesn't ring a bell as to what happened. I can hear me as well. And I was amazed as to how many people went, oh my God, Parkin, amazing, brilliant, blah, blah. And then others going, what the hell is this? And yes, I got my tea ready. And there have been so many converts to the Parkin cake over the last year. And I know it's we're coming out of winter and, you know, we've got that nice little bit of sunshine. But this cake is still one of the most requested recipes and mixes. And I haven't done it for such a long time. And we definitely, in our household, love it. And I suppose this version that's 7 minutes away from coming out of the oven and I'm going to remake here now, is as close to the stuff I used to eat when I was a kid. So we used to get Parkin round bonfire night. Gran always used to make it. You know, probably at that stage it was a little bit too spicy for me, but just the texture was just unlike anything else. So when I sort of put this recipe together and tasted it for the first time, it must have been a year ago at least, because I think it's been on the recipe card for nearly a year. I was like, wow, that's amazing. And it's some of the things that sort of take me back. So like the suet, you know, some of the pastry things. So there are a few options here. I'm going to use some dates to make a paste, which does give the whole cake a little bit of an extra layer of richness and flavour. Yes, they can be missed out. Now these ones, so on the recipe on the website, it says medjool dates, and then I sort of found out that there are lots of varieties of dates, and there are some that are much lower in carbs. So medjool dates are about 65-70 grams of carbs per 100 grams. Whereas these ones, and I found these in Tesco's, is it Neglé Nour? So Negletnour dates from Tunisia. They are just 46 grams of carbs. So there's a significant drop in the carbs. We're only using 50 grams. Split that over the whole cake recipe, and it barely impacts on the actual, you know, carbs per portion. So they're worth doing, because you're not going to have huge amounts of Parkin in one go. So I've got 50 grams in there, and I'm going to add to that 200 grams of water. And we're just going to warm that through. Oh. So what we want to do is soften up the dates, and they will sort of expand, they'll open up, and then we can make them into a paste. Right now, if you were to just blitz them, you get sort of quite firm lumps of date in there. So we're just going to soften them. It won't take long to do that. I am 4 minutes away from taking the first one out of the oven, so I'll get my other bowl. It's a really simple recipe to follow, this one. Oh yeah, for the first time in the oven, I'm actually going to use golden Panda, so that's the test. Because this recipe has added linseed, so I've got ground linseed added into it. So I thought, well, I might as well give it a go with the golden and see. I've not tried any cakes with golden so far. This is the first attempt. So I'm going to carry on. Normally this is original Panda flour that we'd mixed together. So 100 grams, so I've got the recipe over there because I didn't get a printout of it earlier. So I've got, 80 grams of Panda flour, original or golden, 100 grams of linseed. Now this is fairly finely milled linseed. This is the stuff that I use in the golden flour. You could leave it less milled, so a bit more texture. 100 grams of sweetener. So I'll be able to show you the dates in a minute, but they're already starting to open up, and we are literally just softening them. And the idea here is that we're not trying to reduce the liquid. We're actually going to top it back up again to make sure we've got enough liquid for the cake. The one that I just made, it's surprising how much liquid it will take, and then how sticky it is even before it goes into the oven. Right, into the dry mix. Just getting this ready while we're waiting for this to do. Bicarbs, baking powder, and ginger. So let's do bicarbs first, which is 10 grams. I would recommend you always sieve it because a lump of bicarbs is never a nice thing. $20 grams of baking powder. There we go. Right, so it's just started to bubble. Not getting any sound on YouTube Live. Interesting. Thank you. Let me just switch that and try that again. Let me just get the other microphone. Let's see if that helps. Okay. Ooh. Here's one I did earlier. So there's the parkin out of the oven. I'm just going to let that, in fact I'll just set that there and rest for a minute. You can sort of see the dates have started to open up. Just going to give that another minute or so. Right, we've done baking powder and bicarbs. I'm going to get rid of those so I don't get mixed up. Ginger, right, okay, so 25 grams is a good portion of ginger. It's going to give you, and that's what I've put in this one actually, it's going to give you a good level of heat. 35 grams is, you know, a bit more of a kick in the pants. So I am going to do this one as 35. Right, we need to give that a bit of a mix. Is there an echo? I don't know. I can't hear myself. I can't hear an echo. It's probably just echoing in the room. All right. That is our dry mix for now. So, this started at 250 grams and I still need 250 grams. So we've lost just over 30, sort of 35 grams. I don't need that back. So I'm just going to top that back up to 250. That should then allow me to blitz it. Right. We're going to blitz this into a paste. Let it cool down, or as I've added a little bit of cold water to it, it should be fine. Does that mean there's sound on YouTube now as well, Jane? Okay, we have now got our date juice. So, back into there. This does help create the nice, rich, sticky syrup that we need to make the cake with. Right, so into that we've got 200 grams of butter. It's a lot of butter, I know that. However, you won't be complaining when you're tasting it. 50 grams of cream, double cream. And we're going to warm that through first before we add the inulin to it. Again, low temperature, we're just warming it. We don't want to reduce the liquid. Muffins, yeah, absolutely. Although I've not tried it. I mean, it would work in little cupcakes because it doesn't rise hugely. So if you sort of see that, it's a good sort of inch layer, maybe just over an inch, but it's quite a dense batter when it goes in, so it doesn't rise enormously. So little cupcakes, or I've got some of the silicone trays that are little squares, so you could portion them into that. So inulin is, again, it's like an optional extra. It will help create the sticky syrup. Yeah, you can make the liquid to go into the cake without it. I know some people have trouble with inulin. There's 50 grams, which is per portion. It's about 3 grams per portion, remember rightly. So it's not much, but it's enough inulin that goes into here to create a syrup. So I'm just melting the butter. I'm just making sure I've added everything into it. Water, medjool or dates, butter, double cream, inulin. Yeah. All right, it's nearly there. Nearly the butter's gone. Okay, sprinkle the inulin in. You sort of see that it's sticky even in its raw state. There's any form of moisture on it and it's sticky straight away. So that's what it's going to do in the mix. How long cook it for how long would you cook muffins for? This one, don't know, because the cake itself is 40 minutes at 160. You wouldn't need as long as that, but you wouldn't want to bake it much higher temperature. Again, there's quite a lot of liquid going into here. It's going to depend on the size of the muffins. If you're doing it into 16 individual portions in little cupcakes, then I'm guessing it's going to take no more than 25 minutes. Right, I'm just going to let that just heat through for a couple of minutes. It's just lightly bubbling. Again, we don't want to reduce the liquid too much. This recipe only uses 1 egg. I have tried it without the egg. It doesn't quite work as well. You could do it without the egg. It just doesn't rise as much. I was surprised that it only actually took 1 egg. But we just need to get that egg. I'll go with that now. We're just going to combine that egg into the flour first. Okay. Right, so I'm going to let this just cool for a minute. Don't want to use that at that temperature in the cake mix or in the flour mix because it will spoil it. So I'm going to transfer it. Just get going to get another pan to cool it down a bit quicker. Because while we've got a few minutes waiting for that, so I'm just going to put this in the sink in a little bit of cold water just to take some of that temperature out, because really want this down to about 50 degrees, and currently it's probably going to be sitting at closer to 80. Yeah, 83, 84. So just going to let that cool down for a minute. I'm just going to pop it in a bit of cold water. Okay, at home, just let it sort of sit and rest for 10-15 minutes and it'll be good to go. I haven't done this before, and I thought I'll do this today. I want to make a little sticky glaze to go on the top of this. Move that outside. So we're just going to use, again, inulin will give you the stickiness. I've added about 100 grams or 100 mils of water, a little touch of cream. There's about 20 there. We're just going to give this a go and see whether we can make a little sticky glaze to go on top. I'm going to use about 20 grams of inulin. That's 22, that's enough. So inulin needs water to create any form of syrup. You can add fat to it as well, but you can't just use fat. You can't just use butter and inulin. You need to use some water. It's my friendly reminder that I'm having my hair cut tomorrow. Thank you very much. Right. Hi there, YouTubers. I can't see names, unfortunately. Sorry. I suppose I could add a touch of ginger into this, as this one's a little bit lower powered. Just seeing if it's enough inulin to actually take on a little bit of a syrupy texture. Let me get a spoon. Oh, got on there. Let's just give it a touch of ginger. Oh, that tastes good. Oh, hell yeah, that tastes good. I want to put this... I'm purely thinking, how do I take it home? Yeah? So I'm going to put this in there. Okay, right, okay, so it just started to turn into a slightly, a light syrup. I could add more inulin, but I'm aware that I don't want to add too much. I'm going to let that cool for a minute before it goes onto the cake. Right, we can get the other one back. So we'll finish that one off in a minute. I don't need this anymore, so I'm just going to move this out of the way. And get rid of that noise. Perfect. Nice. Right, okay. Well, that's done the job. Beautiful. And it's like a golden syrup in there. Beautiful. Oh, wow. Ooh. Buttery, gingery. Nice. Just incorporate it gradually. And I mean, yes, the cake mix or the flour will take on all this liquid, but it'll then turn, in the last few drops of liquid, it'll turn into a sticky cake mix. Really is good syrup, this one. Okay, so it's now starting to turn from a dry cake mix into, you can see the stickiness. Yeah, the fact that it's warm as well helps create that. You can sort of see how sticky that is, and we're not even all the way there yet. Yeah. So yes, it's an unusual cake batter. It's not your typical lemon cake or chocolate cake or anything like that at all. Right, all of that can go in now. The danger of the liquid being too hot is that you would expand the fibres, the sort of like the bamboo and the psyllium, rapidly. So you'd end up with lumps. Yeah. So that's why it's important to just let that syrup cool down just a little bit, just so you get a nice smooth batter. Obviously, I'm going to reuse my brownie tin, 8x8 brownie square. I mean, you know, whatever tin you've got, you can do it in a 9-inch round, something like that. Right, so see what I mean? It's a sticky cake batter. Okay, nice. I'll tell you what, I'll reuse the paper. Beautiful. We're only just finishing off all the Apple Jacks from a couple of weeks ago. But no one's going to complain when I take home 2 trays of Parkin. So you can see it's actually quite a lot of batter going in. So it doesn't rise hugely. I mean, it's got some rise on it, and it's nice and spongy, which again amazed me as to how thick and syrupy this is right now, and then how light and fluffy the actual cake is. Okay, so we're pretty much there. Just going to do a little bit of watch your ears. Okay, cool. Right, that as a tray bake, 40 minutes, 160. I'm taking it home to bake it because we're going to wrap up and then I'm going to take it home. So let's finish off that one. So that's what it'll, I'll try and get that out. So you can sort of see it's a nice spongy cake. Still warm, but it's extremely stable. I've obviously given it, oh beautiful, right, okay. So as it's cooling down, it's just gone a little thicker, and I'm just going to give it, what I'm hoping is that as this cools, it's going to give it that sticky glaze, and slightly shiny as well on top. Obviously normally that would have been a sugar syrup. Okay, now I've got enough there to do both cakes as well. So it doesn't need to be drowned in the liquid, it's just a coating. There we go. Right, so if you haven't, I mean, that's a really quick one today, okay, half an hour. If you haven't tried Panda Parkin, then I suggest you give it a go. Yes, it's light and spongy, but it's rich. It's fiery if you want it to be. As for anything, one of the main questions we get is, will it freeze? anything that you home bake will freeze, including that. So I mean, I would portion that up, and that's, to me, that there is a good 16 portion cake, 4 by 4. You got 16 squares, perfect. So there's your portion control, and then just freeze it down. And these take barely any time to defrost. Just a perfect little cup of tea, snack. That's it. Right, recipes on the website. Recipes tagged into the into both of the posts. The Parkin does come as a mix, but you've seen how easy it is to make, which is Panda Flour, linseed, sweetener, baking powder, ginger, and bicarbs. Yeah, of course I can, Sandra. Yes, I will start everything again. I've got no cream left. I've got no butter left. So I'm not sure what I can make. Yeah, really, really, it really is super easy. Like all the cakes are. I will do more cakes. I've been requested that lime and coconut cake. I'll do that very soon because I can't remember it. I know we only did it last year. And we really enjoyed it, but I can't remember it. So I'll come back on and do that one. There you go, done. So yes, recipes on the website. I'm reading it from the website to do this, so we know it works. Mix is available if you want the mix, if you don't want to sort of get all the individual ingredients. And I'll see you Thursday for puffets and pitters. Will be a slightly longer one. Right, have a great week. See you later. Bye-bye.